Hello, everyone, and welcome to Claret and Booze. My name's Nick. This is a very short, very brief daily ramble. Woke up feeling very frustrated today, as I'm sure you can all imagine. For anyone that watched the Sunday night show last night, I'm going to sort of close off on that show really, and then go on to talk about the new rumours today. You know, from Sean Whetstone to say that the board still haven't made their minds up. So I'm going to talk about that as well. And talk about what I think is going to happen. And then I'm going to touch on the fast as well at the end, very, very quickly, very briefly. But first of all, I do want to kind of close up on the show last night because I love Nigel to bits. He's a great guy. But he said to me yesterday that he's been writing a case for David Moyes to stay. So I kind of completely misconstrued what he was saying there. I thought he was writing a case himself for why he wanted David Moyes to sign. Well, it turns out it wasn't really. He said it was it was almost like he was trying to get inside the mind of Sullivan. This is how the board look at football, but he's writing a case for it. So I don't know whether that means he can come back and answer this in the comments, whether or not he agrees with this or not. He didn't seem to own it. He said, no, you're misunderstanding me. This isn't my opinion. This is how the board will look at it. He was doing it to offer balance, but he wasn't kind of owning it. And I'm going to say that, Nigel, because you did say this isn't my opinion. It's not what I want, but this is how the board will look at it, which I don't get. Who wants to crawl inside the mind of Sullivan? You know, it's a very dark and murky place. And the argument was based upon, so it was framed in this way. What is the point of football? Well, the point of football is to win games. This is how it went. How do you win games? You win games by scoring goals. Well, David Moyes has scored more goals than so-and-so, so-and-so. Okay, yeah, but what about goals against? Goals against don't matter. But the point of football is to win games. You win games by scoring goals, but you don't win games if you concede more goals than you score. That's as simple as it should have been. But the argument was so stripped back and dumbed down. It was. I said that on the show last night. It completely and utterly took me by surprise. I'll be honest. I still don't see the argument. I'm baffled by it. If that is the strength of it, is that David Moyes has managed to score a lot of goals with the players that he's got in the last few years. I still don't get it. I don't get it at all. But like I said, Nigel didn't say that this was his opinion. He said it was how the board will look at it. You know, they'll look at the amount of goals that he's scored, but they'll ignore the goals that we concede. I found it all very, very strange because any argument that you kind of put back, it was dismissed because for every, and there aren't many, for every stat that you could pitch that would work in David Moyes' favour, there are 10 to 20 that go against David Moyes, but all of those obviously get dismissed. He was sticking his fingers in his ears last night, Nigel, sitting back in his chair, smiling, just going, well. But no, I didn't agree with the debate. I thought it was a pointless debate. I apologise to everyone that watched it as well, because I do think it was, it's not something that can be debated. I'm not saying Nigel's case is pointless, but to debate it was pointless because it isn't a debate. It's an opinion. It's something that he's looking at. He's looking at it from a different angle. But it can't be debated because you're kind of reaching. It's gaslighting is what that is. That's prime gaslighting. I'm not saying Nigel is a gaslighter because I don't believe that he is. The difference between Nigel Khan and Sean Whetstone is typically what Nigel says, Nigel believes. And that's why I kind of can give more credence to what Nigel says, because even if I don't agree with it, he believes it. So I can argue with him. With someone like Sean, I can't take him seriously because he's just taking the piss half the time. That's all he's doing. So Nigel doesn't typically do that. You know, he don't take the piss. It's what he thinks. But I don't agree with it. I didn't agree with it. Then I still don't now. I've woke up even more confused with the argument. I've got to be honest. It was a mess, and it won't be happening again until David Moyes is gone. We will not be discussing that or debating that again because there is nothing to debate. I did say a while ago I'm not debating it anymore, but Nigel's different. You know, I've got a lot of time for Nigel. I'm not debating it anymore, though. That is it. It's done. Even with Nigel, I'm not debating it anymore. There is nothing to debate. David Moyes has to go. You can't scare me with any potential replacement that could be coming in. There is no one at this stage that could be worse than David Moyes for me. I want better football, more enjoyable football. I want to go to West Ham again. I want my son to want to go to West Ham again. At the moment, we don't want to. Is that too much to ask? Is it? I don't think so. So that is it. That's the argument. That's me talking about last night's show. Right, moving on. Sean Whetstone is repeating the same line that he repeated back in January. A little bit tamer this time, because if you remember back in January, he was 100% certain that David Moyes was getting a contract. That was when I had the bet with him, the £100 bet that he still refuses to pay up on until he's gone, which is fine. It's fair enough. I mean, it's for charity. It's not coming to me. We select our charities and it goes to that charity. The bet was Muppet or Puppet. He's going to be both. He's going to be both a Muppet and a puppet. Because I've said to him, he's still being a puppet now. He's still repeating the same lines that the board are giving him. I've said to him so many times before, Sean, you're viewed as a media. When you go to Brady or you go to Sullivan and you say, what's the stance? What's the stance with David Moyes? Oh, we ain't made our minds up yet, Sean. We're going to make our minds up at the end of the year. So Sean writes an article saying the official line is, they haven't made their minds up yet. This is bullshit. It's bullshit. They have made their minds up. He is going. Whether or not they've got the next manager in place or not yet, I don't know that. I don't know that much. I've never said that I knew who the next manager was going to be. What I was told was that the next manager was already queued up. Again, I don't know whether that's true, but the more I'm seeing stories unfold with the likes of Sean on Claret and Hugh, the more I'm starting to think maybe there is a manager lined up. Because even with this nonsense with Julian Lopetegui, or Lopetegui, whatever his name is, apparently he's been interviewed. He gave a presentation to Sullivan. He was 2-1 favourites on Sky Bet. But then they come out and say, we've never met with him. We've never offered him a contract. That's all nonsense. So I think there's smoke screening going on. I do. Now, look, I'm not saying I disagree with it, because if there is a manager in place and they're trying to keep it under wraps for the good of the man who's currently in a job elsewhere because they don't want to disrupt what he's doing there until the job is finished, I get it and I respect it. I do. But we're not going to know that until the end of the season. Personally, I do think the manager has been chosen, has been selected. That is what I think. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, of course. I don't know. I'm nervous. If the manager hasn't been selected yet, then we're going to keep on talking about the other managers that it could be, because we're always being passed information through about potential managers. And some of the managers that have been mentioned, I'm not too fond of, and I've explained why. You know, I mean, Fonseca is the only one that I wouldn't mind, and that's purely based on his style of football and, you know, the type of profile of manager that he is, where he does bring youth players through and stuff like that. I wouldn't be unhappy if we got Fonseca. I wouldn't. But the concern would be is that that's a David Sullivan appointment because of Barry Silkman. Barry Silkman is Fonseca's agent. So that says to me that Tim isn't going to get his own way. And that, you know, that's just a shame if that's going to be the case. Because we've all got it in our minds about this new vision that Tim's going to drive. He's going to get his coach in place. Well, and Sullivan's going to pull back. Well, I think that kind of proves that isn't going to be the case. Whenever there's a transfer window, Sullivan will reappear because he'll want his hands all over deals for obvious reasons with his favourite agents. So that's just a quick kind of brief on what I thought of the show last night. Like I said, next Sunday's back to normal. We're not doing that again. Nigel will always be back on the show, but I'm not doing that again. It'll be the normal format, the standard format. Fuck that. Not doing that again. And also debunking what doesn't even need debunking, Sean, because he's not saying anything. He's just saying the same thing on loop. He is the same thing. You know, same as I am. Moyes is going. All right. Next, on to the fast. I'm starting the 10-day fast with Jay on the 1st of May. I'm actually getting quite excited about this. I am. We've got the information pack through now, because it was all a bit, you know, we wasn't really sure what we was getting into. And it's 2 fasts combined. So it's a 3-day cleanse, which is going to be the tough bit, which is 3 days with just water. It's a purge of your system to clean your body out. And then it's 7 days of juice fasting, with, you know, vegetable and fruit extracts and stuff like that. And it's basically just putting nutrients into your body for the next 7 days. I'm doing this for more than just weight loss, but apparently the weight loss for people that are a bit heavy, which I am, can be quite extreme. He said the most weight loss that somebody has shaken off in 10 days is almost 2 stone. Sounds good to me. But I'm doing this for a kickstart because I've tried so many times to lose weight since lockdown. and failed. I wasn't really. I, I basically got big during lockdown, and I've tried several times to sort of lose it, and I start and I fall off the wagon. I stop, and I've never been able to get going. So I do need a bit of a kickstart, because even when I try and do things like go running at the moment, I'm so heavy on the front, I get lower back pain and stuff like that, and I find that, and I just get disheartened by it. So I'm hoping that this will be a kickstart for me. I'm really excited. My missus is doing it with me as well, which is going to make it very much easier for me, because she's a good cook and I ain't going to have to suffer her cooking downstairs. My son's gonna live on packet meals for the next 10 days. He's pleased. And he's going to go around his grandparents for dinner as well. But yeah, so that's going to be that. If you do want to join me, have a look at the link in the description. Join our membership platform. You get a discount on the fast itself. The fast is because it's a fully managed fast. So you join a group. So there's a WhatsApp group. There's daily Skype calls, so that everyone, if you've got any questions about how you're feeling, is this right? Blah 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 blah. There's people on hand. You're talking to each other, all in a WhatsApp group together. You're all going through it together, and you're doing sort of daily updates as well. You've got professional guidance along the way from the likes of Jay as well. But it's a combination of exercise, fasting, and breathing exercises as well. Which are brilliant, by the way. I know a lot of people are going to think, oh, that's a bit tree huggery. That's exactly what I thought until I dipped my toes into one of the coaching sessions that Jay does on our support network. And I did it to show willing, because, we run the channel. Did it, and I was like, Jesus Christ, what's all this about? It's like the weirdest natural high you're ever going to get. But what it does is it gets the blood circulating around your body. So when you do the deep breathing exercises, it gets your blood rushing around your body as if you were, and your lungs working in such a way that, because it just pumps oxygen into your blood, and your blood starts fucking going. You can feel it around your body. So it's as if you're doing physical exercise, but you're not. You're sat still. So your hands start tingling, your feet everything goes cold. It's such a bizarre feeling, but it's all designed to cleanse your body and get all of the bad shit out of it and all of that, So strip all the bad stuff away from cells and everything. So I've been doing a lot of reading on this now. Obviously, I'm not an expert. I can't give you anything sort of succinct like Jay could, but I'm completely sold on this now. So for anyone that does want more information, like I say, do join the membership platform. Links in the description. If once you're a member, you get 50% off as well through Jay. So it will cost you 50 quid rather than 100 quid. But it's a fully managed process for 10 days. And they do it quarterly. Like, I think Jay said there's about a third of the people that are on this one have done them 2 or 3 times before, because they use it to sort of manage themselves. They're doing it as kind of a quarterly cleanse where, if you've got the type of lifestyle where you go out and you eat a lot and you drink a lot and stuff like that, they can kind of do that comfortably now because they know they've got a little fast coming up. So look, this is all new for me. I'm going to document it. So from day one, I'm going to do little tiny vlogs, not to pump on this channel. I'm going to make a video up at the end of it just to say how I'm feeling in the morning, at lunchtime, at the end, just to sort of take you through the grieving process of no food, which I'm going to be going through. And yeah, I'm going to do that and put all that together and document it. I'm going to weigh myself before, and I'm going to weigh myself at the end. There's some other little things I'm going to do for myself as well, to show, health benefits and stuff like that. But yeah, there are some concerns. It was like there's somebody said, what about people who are diabetic and stuff like that? Of course, there's going to be concerns, but there's case studies on there from a guy that was type 2 or type 3 diabetic. And apparently throughout this entire process, they're obviously concerned. They're concerned because your blood sugar level drops, you're in trouble. But they're taking his blood levels the whole way through this fast. Didn't have to have 1 dose of insulin the whole way through, which is a bit of an unknown for that when you consider what it is, because you're getting it's all natural stuff. Like I say, you're not starving yourself. If you was to slip into a coma, as Jay said, if you was to slip into a coma, they don't put food in your mouth, do they? They don't. They put liquids and nutrients straight into your body. That's what they do. And it gets absorbed into your bloodstream, so you get all the stuff that you need. But yeah, so look, if you want to learn more about that stuff, then head over, links in the description. Look for the Jay's, once you're in and you've signed up, look for the space group that says Jay's 10-day revitalize class or group, and all the information's in there. You can sign up, job done. Come and suffer with me, and we can see the benefits together. So yeah, hopefully I'm going to be like that in 10 days. You'll all see anyway, won't you? So we'll see what happens. But yes, so quick ramble. Speak to you all soon. I've got to get back to work. Come on, you irons.